Welcome back to the Ice Best Sports Podcast. I'm Griff.
I'm Matt.
And today we're coming off another. It was a pretty good week of football, except for if you're a fan of either of our teams.
Yeah, man, what a horrible week for the Eagles. Now listen, I took Tampa last week if you listen to the episode. You knew I didn't have high expectations for this Eagles team whatsoever. At least going into this week. Tampa owns us. We always come out weak. We were without AJ Brown, we were without Devonta Smith. Turns out we ended up also being without Lane Johnson, who I believe with Lane Johnson we have like a over 60% like win percentage versus without him where we have like a 30% win percentage. So big difference there. And it really didn't matter because Fred Johnson, his backup, got absolutely destroyed on the right side. And that was kind of the story of this game. Philly sucked. Nick Sirianni, you got to go. We got to run this guy out of town. He's horrible. He's horrible. His decisions all year. It's week 4 and I'm already sick of him. But if this guy continues on this path, if he makes it past week 6 or 7, I'd be shocked because this guy, he's starting to lose the locker room too. Darius Slay's over here on Micah Parsons' podcast talking, disrespect on his own teammates with the divisional rival. I don't care as much about that as like the fact that we're losing games. We're 2-2. All like Tampa. Okay, Tampa's a solid team. Don't get me wrong, but the fact that we lost 33-16, and I mean, don't even get me started on Jalen Hurts. The amount of turnovers he's had, it's been ridiculous. I don't know what's going on with this team. On paper, going into the year, we were going to be good. I get we had injuries this week, but it's still unacceptable. You have Saquon Barkley, you barely used him. It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. Jalen Hurts, 158 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 6 sacks. Definitely the pressure didn't help, but the thing with Jalen Hurts is if his first read isn't there, he panics. He doesn't know what to do. He's a first read quarterback, and I at this point in his career, I don't know if he'll ever get better than that. And I know I said it twice now about no AJ Brown, no Devonta Smith, but you know what? Carson Wentz was going out there every week with a lot less and like half an ACL. Like that guy, Eagles fans don't like Wentz. I have a hell of a lot of respect for Wentz. This is a guy that threw for over 4,000 passing yards without a single receiver having over 500 receiving yards. Jalen Hurts needs everything to be prim and proper and perfect for him to actually put together a solid game. And again, Sirianni's play calling is BS. I don't know what he brings to the team because Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio, are the glue that's keeping us together right now. But I don't know how long that's going to last. Sirianni takes the accountability in these pressers, but we don't see any changes. I'm going to stop ranting. It's so frustrating because again, it's week 4, and something needs to give.
Well, I'm in the same boat. The Jets coaching staff is probably bottom 1 in the league. Robert Saleh is a terrible head coach, and Nathaniel Hackett is an even worse offensive coordinator. When you look at the game against the Broncos, I know the weather conditions were awful. It was just a sloppy game all around on both sides. But at the end of the day, when you look at that offensive play calling, what are we doing? I mean, Garrett Wilson's a non-factor in this offense. Breece Hall can't even – he couldn't get through the line of scrimmage. Braylon Allen was the best player on the team that game outside of Mike Williams. And Mike Williams is still on a snap count for God knows why. The Jets – and I mean, Greg Zuerlein becoming the worst kicker in the league doesn't help because we could have just won that game. The defense has stepped up. Outside of the game against San Fran week 1, the defense and the first half against the Titans week 2, the defense has been very solid. But that's all you could say about the team is that the defense has been solid. The offense has been so inconsistent, and it's so frustrating because this was the same story last season. I know last season was completely different circumstances. Aaron Rodgers gets hurt week 1, and you're relying on Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle and whoever the hell else you wanted to run out there. but the play calling has just been abysmal since Nathaniel Hackett arrived. And I don't even know if Aaron Rodgers still likes the guy. I don't know why any of this coaching staff is still around except for Ulbrich, who's been a solid DC.
So what I don't understand with the Jets, and sorry if I cut you short there, but Rodgers came out last week and looked like he was 25. We talked about it, in last week's podcast. I don't know what happened. I mean, yeah, he was sacked 5 times. The offensive line wasn't playing all that great. And to your point with Garrett Wilson, he looked a lot better with Zach Wilson thrown to him.
Yeah.
What's I'm genuinely asking, what is the difference now between last year? Like, he has a better quarterback. He has better offensive weapons around him. Arguably better protection. I mean, up until this game, your offensive line was holding up pretty well. What's going on with Garrett Wilson?
It's not even an Aaron Rodgers thing. This is a Garrett Wilson thing. I mean, you watch the games. I'm not even exaggerating. 50% of the time, he runs the wrong route. Aaron Rodgers is throwing a comeback, and Garrett Wilson's just running up the seam still. I can't even watch it. And I don't know what's going on with him. For some reason, they're just not on the same page, and he doesn't know what route he's supposed to run. I mean, outside of Alan Lazard and Mike Williams, we have nothing in the receiving room.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson's been bad. For some reason, Xavier Gibson is still getting snaps over Malachi Corley. Xavier Gibson can't catch a cold. It's just frustrating to watch, especially after how good that team looked all around against the Patriots, to come out like that against another bad football team in the Broncos.
Yeah. And what am I missing here with the Broncos? Because, I mean, well, they're 2-2, which is honestly a shock to me. But their defense has not let up more than 10 points in the last 3 weeks. I know Pat Surtain is one of the best corners in the league, but other than that, like, who do they have that's of, a household name value that is balling out for them? Because I recognize a lot of these names, but going into the year, I didn't think any of these guys were really superstars. Is it just a defensive scheme? What's going on there? Like, I mean, the Broncos, 2-2. That's probably about as many wins as I thought they'd have all season. They have by week 4. Crazy stuff going on in the NFL, man.
Yeah. Let's just jump into, our week 4 recap outside of our own teams, because I know we're very frustrated. How about
Oh yeah, very much so. Well, it sucks because, like, you look forward all off season, right? And your team has finally puts together something on paper that looks like it could be a Super Bowl caliber team. Jets and Eagles, both of our teams kind of in the same boat there.
Yeah, the Jets load up. You guys add Saquon. It's like, oh my God, this is going to be a Super Bowl matchup. We're gonna have the Ice Bath Super Bowl.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, by week 4, both teams are 2-2. A lot of questionable decisions, a lot of question marks. Like you said, I'm frustrated because I feel as if the Eagles, at the very least, you could probably relate to this as well. We have such a young roster, but they're all kind of in their prime right now, and it feels like their prime is being wasted.
Yeah.
I'm sure
especially
you're in the same boat.
with our defense.
Yeah. Because, like, Saquon Barkley, he's not getting any younger. He was already 27, 28 coming into Philly.
Yeah.
AJ Brown's 27. Like, we have a 2-3 year window, and you kind of hope you end up getting a dynasty. But at this point, I'd be lucky to make the conference championship. So, let's get into other highlights.
How about Nico Collins?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know you were a big Nico Collins fan going into the year.
Yeah.
I could not have ever even imagined him having this amount of success, this far into the season.
Oh, yeah, no, 100%. Nico Collins, 12 catches, 151 yards, and a touchdown, over 100 receiving yards in 3 of his last 4 games, I believe. And, he was targeted 15 times. He leads the league in receiving right now, 30 catches, 489 yards, 2 touchdowns on the year.
What's crazy is that he has over 100 more receiving yards than the next closest player, which is Malik Neighbors, who has 386.
Yeah.
So
Crazy.
103 more receiving yards than the second best receiver in the entire league. That's insane to me.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
That's like, because like, when McCaffrey was doing that last year, everybody talked about it. But Nico Collins is doing it this year with the receiving yards. I feel like it's not getting nearly enough media attention.
Yeah, 100%. He's been pretty ridiculous, and I mean his quarterback not too shabby of a day either. C.J. Stroud 27 of 40, 345, 2 touchdowns. This is what we were seeing out of him last year.
Yeah, this is what you kind of hope to see. I mean, the Jags have also been dastardly. I mean, they've been so bad. But this is what a good team should do. They should go to a matchup where they're favored and take care of business. I mean, it was a lot closer than they probably anticipated. But divisional matchups, I feel like most of the time are. But yeah, I mean, like you said, Stroud, this is what we were seeing out of him last year, and I mean, he's putting up good numbers. It helps when you add Stephon Diggs to the receiving core. Yeah, Diggs 5 catches, 69 yards, nice. Yeah, I mean, this Texans team is rolling 3-1. They have a tough matchup this upcoming week though, Buffalo.
Yeah. What do we got next? We got Jayden Daniels.
Oh yeah, another guy that's having an unreal season. Now statistically, like, it's not going to blow you away.
No, but he's so efficient, and he just does what he has to do.
He's passed for 897 yards, 3 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. 1 interception through the first 4 weeks for a rookie quarterback is terrific. I mean, you have Anthony Richardson, who is still technically a rookie, but not like, but he didn't play a lot of games last year. But he had 6 interceptions the first 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Jayden Daniels, and that doesn't even account for his rushing production, where he had 218 rushing yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. Talk about a stellar young talent, and he's only going to get better as the season goes on. He builds a better rapport with his receivers. He learns the playbook a little more. He learns how to play in the NFL a little better. I mean, it's nuts. What I think is insane. Well, there's 2 things that are insane. The first is that Jayden Daniels has led the Commanders to a 3-1 start.
Unreal.
First in the NFC East.
Unreal.
If you told me that the Commanders were first in the NFC East at any point in the offseason, I'd say you were absolutely insane. And that's not the only thing that Jayden Daniels is first in. He's also
I totally agree. It's been so much fun to watch. He has been like ridiculous.
right.
And he's flashy. I don't know. He's just a fun guy to watch, and he's easy to root for.
It reminds me so much of when RG3 came in to the league. Just the way he was tearing it up. But yeah,
let's just hope he doesn't have the same fate as RG3.
100% agree. Well, what does suck is I'm an Eagles fan. So like, if it was happening in any other division, I'd have a little more appreciation.
Yeah.
I respect it, don't get me wrong, but like, come on. Like,
I know it's tough for you to be able to go out there and openly root for somebody in division. It's like me. If Drake May comes in and he starts lighting it up, I'm gonna be like, okay, like I loved Drake May out of college. I thought he was gonna be one of, if not the best quarterbacks in this draft class, and he's on a division rival and my least favorite team in the league, so can't root for him.
What's crazy, and little anecdote here is I have Kyler Murray and Jayden Daniels in the league we're in it together, actually. And first 4 weeks I've played the wrong one each week. I wish I was kidding. No, it's actually cost me like 2 games.
That's why I never draft 2 quarterbacks. I never have to second guess myself.
It's crazy. Week 1, I play Kyler Murray. What did he do? 16 points. Jayden Daniels 28 on my bench. Week 2, I'm like, okay, I'll play Jayden Daniels. He puts up 13. Kyler Murray, 34.5 on my bench. Week 3, all right, I'll go back to Kyler Murray, 16.78. Jayden Daniels, 32 on my bench. Are you kidding me? I'm like, okay. The way this is going, it's every other week they're having good weeks. I'll stick with Kyler Murray this week. He barely breaks me 12. Jayden Daniels has 26 on my bench. I can't win. No matter which one I play, the other one's going to go off. So when the Eagles play the Commanders, I will make sure to play Jayden Daniels so that he does not have a good game.
And then he'll go for like 450 and 8 touchdowns.
Yeah, against our defense this season, I think that's very, very possible. Let's jump into our Week 5 predictions.
Yeah, let's do it.
Starting off, we have Tampa Bay at Atlanta on Thursday night.
I actually think this is going to be a pretty good game.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like most NFC South games are usually really competitive and entertaining. Although recently I feel like they've been kind of on the lower scoring end of the spectrum. But, I mean, Kirk Cousins in primetime, I got to go Baker.
I'm going with Baker in the Bucs
Baker in Tampa.
too. I think that we get another big game from Chris Godwin, who is putting together a nice season.
He's killing it.
He's killing it. Mike Evans is heating up a bit. Had a good game against the Eagles, 8 for 94 and a touchdown.
Don't remind me.
Sorry. Chris Godwin had 6 for 69. Nice. Chris Godwin's 7th in the league in yards. Got 322 on the season. Really putting together a hot start. Mike Evans, 2 good games, 2 meh games. But they got weapons, and Bucky Irving is going to lead the charge in the backfield.
Heck yeah. Love me some Bucky Irving. I mean, even though Rachaad White had a nice game against us, or a decent game against us, Bucky Irving
I think
also
they had the exact same yardage.
Yeah, both 10 carries, 49 yards.
49, both of them. Bucky did score.
But yeah, Bucky did score. Yeah, big Bucky fan. Big we're Bucky stands over here,
yes,
okay?
Sir.
Yeah. Then your New York Jets play in London on Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. sharp, against Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm riding with my quarterback here. I'm going with Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings.
This is like a neutral playing ground, neutral turf. Speaking of turf, you don't have to play in deadly MetLife, so I think that's a plus.
That is a plus.
I mean, Minnesota's been hot. They just took down the Packers. They started to fold at the end of that game. My vision here is, Aaron Rodgers always owned the NFC North when he played for Green Bay.
Not wrong.
I think that's going to kind of continue here. I think he has Minnesota's number. I mean, I know totally different team, but I couldn't decide. I mean, London games, you never know. It's always a coin toss with the London games. Jets defenses look great. Minnesota's defense has been solid. But I'm really excited to see the Sauce Gardner Justin Jefferson matchup.
I am too.
Give me the Jets.
Okay. Carolina at Chicago. Oh, this one's gonna be great.
I'm going Carolina.
I am as well. Their offense has had a new spark under Andy Dalton. Their defense sucks. Their defense is bottom tier.
And they just lost Shaq Thompson for the year.
They did. Chicago's also not good.
Now, I said, I can't pick Chicago until they show me something, but they still haven't really shown me anything. You beat the Rams without Puka Nacua Cooper Kupp. And I think, like you said, the Panthers have been playing hot lately.
They have. Their offense has been clicking. Chuba Hubbard's been really good. Andy Dalton's been good. Deontay Johnson's been really good. Their offense is clicking. Their defense just needs to step up.
Yeah. I think they will because you're playing Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
And he has not been spectacular to start the season, to say the least. Give me Carolina here. Who are you going?
I'm going Carolina as well.
Oh, I thought that was going to be like a bold pick on my end. Interesting. Baltimore at Cincy. Yeah. Again, might as well flip a coin here.
Yeah, you know what? I'm taking Baltimore. They looked really, really, really good against the Bills. Cincy, still, I mean, their offense is good. Their defense against Carolina wasn't very good, and they still haven't really showed me they could hang on defense. They allowed, what was it, 2 weeks ago against the Commanders? They allowed, what did they allow? They allowed 38 points to the Commanders. This past week, they allowed 24 to the Panthers. I don't know. Their defense hasn't been good, and I think Baltimore's offense could be able to outplay their offense. I'm going to take Baltimore on the road here.
Well, we were just talking about how great Jayden Daniels has been. So Washington scoring that much on the Bengals in hindsight doesn't seem as bad now, at least in my eyes. I'm going Cincy here. I think the Ravens did come out very, very hot against Buffalo. But that just is more the reason why I think the Bengals are going to catch them slipping. I feel like there's usually a hangover for teams that, blow out a competitive opponent. And this is a huge game for the Bengals.
Yeah.
You're 1-3. Ravens are 2-2. That's the difference being, 3-2 versus 1-4. And it's a divisional game. Like, this could have playoff implications if Cincy can get their stuff together. I think this Bengals come out, they win a close game by a field goal, and this is the turning point in their season. It's a huge get-right game. And I think it will come into play later on down the road because I don't think the Bengals have been as bad as they've been playing. They're a better team than this.
Yeah, that's fair. Miami at New England.
This is tough, man. Both teams suck.
I'm taking New England.
Yeah, so am I. I mean, Miami just hasn't shown me anything. You don't have a quarterback. We said they got to go with Snoop Huntley, and they did, and he stunk up the joint. Yep. I mean,
they lost.
You don't really have any other
Rudolph
option
outright.
either. What's that?
They lost to Mason Rudolph outright.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Patriots don't have a bad defense. They're home. As long as they can get some protection up front, yeah, I don't see Miami really having a shot here.
Yeah, I agree.
No, don't get me wrong. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout or anything, but I just don't think it's that winnable. They just
can't move the ball
Miami.
on offense right now.
They can't. It's very, very stagnant.
Yeah. Cleveland at Washington.
I got to rock with Washington.
That's an easy pick for me. Cleveland's terrible.
Yeah. Cleveland has been really bad. Washington's riding the hot hand right now.
Yeah.
Although they said Nick Chubb's practicing this week. If he's back, I still don't think it makes a difference, but I thought it was worth noting.
Yeah, I don't know how much of a difference he's going to make. He's 28 years old now, coming off he tore up everything in his leg. I don't know how he recovers from that. And plus, Jerome Ford's been good since last season when he stepped in. So I don't know.
Yeah, he's been, effective.
Yeah.
He hasn't really showed me anything where he'd be a starter anywhere, but he's not a bad, backup for this scenario. Kind of borderline. If you're the Colts, you probably wish you had him. With Jonathan Taylor, probably missed a few weeks with that ankle injury.
And speaking of the Colts,
Colts at Jaguars.
I think Jacksonville gets their first win. No Jonathan Taylor's huge. You got a banged up Anthony Richardson. Maybe Flacco gets the start. I don't know. But I'm gonna go with Jacksonville here. I think they get on the board. It's gonna be a close divisional game though.
I'm with you. Colts defense has not shown up. Anthony Richardson, I think they're going to trot him out there anyways. I think it'd be stupid to do, but they're going to do it. They did it last week. Yeah. He went down with a rib injury, and they put him back out there. That is that is not what I want to see in terms of protecting a franchise quarterback if I'm the fan base. But yeah, no, I think the Colts have a better shot in this game if they did have Flacco starting. I'm still going Jags. Jags gonna get their first win here. They're due.
Yeah, I agree.
And Colts defense has not been good.
Buffalo at Houston. Quick news on Buffalo. Von Miller has just been suspended 4 games. Off the field issues from November of last year when he allegedly assaulted his pregnant girlfriend. And
Wow,
I guess it's no longer allegedly. But he's out the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
Why not just ban him for life? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what a piss poor human to even like think about doing it. Don't get me started. Oh man, makes me want to take the Texans, but I'm still rocking the Bills. They need to rebound from that horrible loss against the Ravens. Texans are good, but they're still a young team. They're going to slip up. I think Bills are going to take full advantage of those mistakes.
Yeah, Bills coming off a poor performance on offense. This is a game where Josh Allen gets back on track. James Cook gets back on track. I think it's a close game. I do think Buffalo comes away with the victory.
I agree. Raiders at Denver at the Broncos.
Give me the Raiders.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. I mean, this game's gross.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting, actually. I'm going the Broncos. Broncos at home. And their defense has just been playing unreal. I kind of talked about it earlier, but how many points have they allowed over the last 3 weeks? They've allowed more than 10 points over the last 3 weeks, their defense. And the Raiders, Devontae Adams wants out. He didn't officially request a trade, but he said he would prefer if he was traded. A lot of drama going on there. You know, I think Pierce has kind of lost that locker room.
Yeah.
Not much faith here. I got to go Denver.
That's fair. We got Arizona at San Fran.
It should be a good game.
It should be. It
depends what Cardinals team shows up.
They've kind of fallen off as of late. I'm gonna go San Fran here, and I think San Fran wins by a couple scores.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm also going San Fran, especially at home. They're the better team, and Cardinals need to show me that they can win games. But I do think, divisional game, it'll be competitive. Side note on the Niners, man, screw Kyle Shanahan and that whole organization. As somebody that had the number 1 overall pick in the league and drafted Christian McCaffrey, I'm currently flipping the bird to that entire organization for falsely misreporting on McCaffrey's injury and not being transparent at all. And you're waiting till now to do all these tests? Give me a break. Absolutely unacceptable in a professional sports league that has built a brand that so heavily is invested in sports betting, sports gambling, fantasy sports, to have a misrepresentation of important information, such as one of the best players in the league's injury. That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
I personally think there should be repercussions, but I doubt Goodell will do anything.
I agree. So we're both taking San Fran. Okay. Green Bay at the Rams. I'm taking Green Bay. The Rams just so banged up, and they didn't look good against the Bears. And Green Bay coming off a tough loss. Big game from Jayden Reed, I think.
I agree. Jayden Reed's been killing it. Jordan Love looked, he was a little shaky at first, but started getting a bit of a groove there. Yeah, give me the Packers. Traveling to LA though, Rams coming off a bad loss, but I think without Cooper Kupp or Puka Nacua, this team doesn't really stand a chance.
I agree. Giants at Seattle. Give me Seattle. Geno's been playing well. He played pretty well last night. their defense needs to step up. They were good the first 3 weeks. Yet last night they were not very good. I mean,
You're also playing the Lions.
Yeah, the Lions' offense is extremely good. I think this is a bounce back game. Give me Seattle by a couple scores.
I mean, East Coast team, the Giants, traveling west to Seattle. It's always so difficult to play in Seattle. I don't know, man. The Giants need to show me that they can score touchdowns. You know, if they could score touchdowns, they're beating Dallas last Thursday.
Yeah.
The Giants, I think, are on the brink of becoming not a contending team, but pretty close to a contending team. I think they're right there on the verge. They need to get over that lip. I think they have a couple things to figure out, mostly offensively. But right now, I'm going to go Seattle. Kenneth Walker, hot hand, coming off that oblique injury, goes for a hat trick, 3 touchdowns. I think he can have another big role in this game as well in the Seahawks win.
Yeah, I agree. Dallas at Pitt, Sunday Night Football. I'm taking Pitt at home.
I'm going Dallas. Pitt, I think, Cinderella run the first 3 weeks, but they came down to earth last week. I think Dallas is just too high powered of an offense for them to stop. Who's covering CeeDee Lamb?
I got Pitt.
Really?
Yeah.
I wish.
Low scoring game. I think the Pitt defense is still very good, and Justin Fields has looked pretty good. I'm gonna rock with Pitt at home. I think this is a very close game, low scoring game, and those are the games that Mike Tomlin finds a way to win.
All right, we got Monday Night Football, Saints at Chiefs. Bold take here. I'm going New Orleans.
Wow, I am not. I am going with the Chiefs. They're going into Arrowhead. I know the Chiefs have barely been winning games. I just think that they're too good, and the Saints are not good enough.
I think it's an upset city. I smell a rat here. Oh, I smell a rat. The Saints, they started off hot the first 2 games. They lost, 2 close games. That offense looks good. Not much has changed about the Saints. I think the Saints defense is, all right. The Chiefs, though, I think losing Rashee Rice is really, really, really going to hurt them.
I could see that.
And I think they come out flat on offense. That Mahomes hasn't looked that good this year. 904 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He's been very, very mid. So, Kelsey hasn't really done much. He had a decent game last week, but that's because he was the only guy that they could really throw to aside from Xavier Worthy. But if the Saints can, clamp down on those 2 guys, I think the Saints have a very, very good chance at winning this game.
Okay, that's fair.
Teams on buys this week include the Detroit Lions, Tennessee Titans, Philadelphia Eagles, and Los Angeles Chargers. Let's hop into the waiver wire watch, make it quick, and we'll let you guys go. Kicking it off, we have Kareem Hunt. So when Isaiah Pacheco went down 2 weeks ago, it seemed like Carson Steele and Samaje Perine were going to handle the backfield duties. Hunt, who the Chiefs had signed to their practice squad shortly after, Pacheco's injury, wasn't really in that conversation. Well, after this last week performance, I think he's definitely a waiver priority. He carried the ball 14 times for 69 yards. Nice. And caught 3 passes for 16 yards. Now, this is not a ton of production here, but he was very heavily involved in the offense, even for playing less than 40% of the snaps. I think he's going to be the guy in KC going forward. He's only rostered in 40% of sleeper leagues, but you might be able to get yourself like a RB3, until Pacheco gets back.
Yeah, I like it. Next up, we get another running back. We got Trey Sermon. We touched on it a little bit before. Jonathan Taylor went down with a high ankle sprain. He's probably going to miss a couple weeks. They're saying it's not a severe sprain, but I would assume he misses at least 2 weeks. Sermon doesn't have a great resume in the NFL, but he's going to get large volume behind the very good offensive line. And if you really need a running back, he's a guy that you could plug and play. He's available in over 90% of sleeper leagues, but that's going to change this week.
Yeah, Sermon definitely going to get a lot of volume in Indy. Just a matter of will he produce. I think, like you said, with that offensive line, it's going to be hard not to.
Yeah.
Next guy on this list is Wan'Dale Robinson for the Giants. Now, Robinson's a guy I liked a lot going into the year, and he's looked good so far. Now the Giants have a clear-cut wide receiver one in Malik Neighbors. It kind of opens up the offense for Robinson to line up, wherever the G-men need him to. Um, Robinson has seen 8 or more targets in 3 of his last 4 games, and is coming off a Week 4 performance where he had 11 catches for 71 yards. Robinson's played himself into the wide receiver 3 conversation for me, and I think would make a nice addition to most teams. He's already rostered in 47% of sleeper leagues. Go get him while he's hot, fresh, and while you can.
Another wide receiver, we got Carolina Panthers rookie Xavier Legette. He's coming off a great performance against the Bengals where he had 6 catches, 66 yards, and a touchdown. He saw a career-high 87% of snaps and stepped up in the absence of Adam Thielen. Ever since Dalton took over at quarterback, the passing attack, like we said, has looked very effective, and Legette could play a big role in that. And he's also hilarious in his interviews. He's available in over 60% of sleeper leagues, so chances are he's available in yours.
Big country.
All right. Country.
Last guy we got here is Alan Lazard. I cannot believe I have this guy on my list, but here we are. Rodgers always loves getting the football to his friends, and in this regard, this pertains to Alan Lazard. Lazard has had double-digit PPR points in 3 of his last 4 games, showing safe production and consistency. Lazard has played in 80% or more snaps all year and should continue to produce as a borderline wide receiver 4. Buys are coming up. He might be worth a grab. He's available in roughly half sleeper leagues. That's going to do it.
He's been good. Make sure to check us out on
good's a stretch.
Social media. He's been solid.
He's been solid.
Make sure to check us out on social media, all in the description, whether you're listening on Apple, Spotify, or if you're listening on YouTube. Check us out in the description below. We will see you guys next week. Enjoy this week of football. And as always, stay cool.
Stay cool.